So are you ready for the opportunity of a lifetime? This is your chance to be part of the Mercedes EQ Formula E team, the most innovative and high-performing team on the track. So we've partnered with Modis to find the perfect candidate for this unique job. Together with Modis, we are innovating and engineering for the future of e-mobility. And in that sense, we truly are engineering a smarter future together.
Good to have you here. How are you doing? So we're just setting up the car for tomorrow.
Hey there. Pretty exciting being on track, isn't it? Looking forward to have you on the team with us next season. See you there.
So we're looking for the best talent to work together with me to shape the future of this team. And I'm looking for somebody that's a strong communicator with an understanding of engineering as well. But most importantly, I'm looking for somebody who's up for the challenge and solution-orientated. If that sounds like you, I'd love for you to apply now. Please go to modis.com to apply.
Engineering a smarter future together.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Q&A session with Lead the Charge, your career in pole position for one season. We are here to get your questions and ask them Ian James, the team principal of the Mercedes EQ Formula E team. What is it like to work on a day-to-day basis within the team based in Brackley?
Well, we're here in the heart of Motorsport Valley in the UK, so there's an incredible amount of talent already around the sport industry. But as I mentioned before, a startup, so we're a new, fresh organisation that's only been in existence for a couple of years and still going through this transitional phase. So, I mean, it's but every day is genuinely different. We not only are responsible for the development of racing, but we also are responsible for the operations side of the team and everything that goes along with that, from the engineering, the marketing, the administration as well. So it's quite a diverse set of tasks that we have. And something which, as I said before, every day is different. And today, for example, we're not speaking to you, but we're also gearing up for our next race next week in Mexico.
That sounds like whoever wins this role is actually being really on track and everywhere with you and be part of all the other departments too. So it's not only a role for one department, but this person will have an overview on all of them, right?
Absolutely, yes. I think it really is going to be key to our operations, and you have the opportunity to get to know the technical side of the business, but beyond that as well, the other important areas that are necessary to make the whole operation work.
What will make a candidate successful actually in this role, according to you?
I think that you know, anybody that's going to come into this role needs to be passionate about the role first and foremost. We've spoken before that we are an engineering organisation. We're in motorsport, so obviously an understanding of engineering is going to be advantageous, but that's not the be-all and end-all. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we're just looking for engineers to apply for the role. As I said before, anybody that's coming in with a passion and an interest for the role, somebody that's incredibly to be part of the team, will find quite a natural home here within the organisation. So that first and foremost will be the key attribute we're looking for.
What is your leadership style, Ian, and how is it to work with you actually?
That's a really good question. I think if I asked my team, they'd probably say chaotic, but hopefully also passionate about what we do here, along with all of the rest of the team. Here we have quite a strong culture that really comes from that rich that we've got in motorsport and draws success that we've had on the Formula One side of the business as well. And we have some strong values alongside that. So we talk about pride quite a lot, and what we mean by that is passion, respect, innovation, determination, and that's something that we really want to embody within every member of the team, and hopefully I do my bit to further the cause in that sense as well. The other thing that I try to do is have a very open culture here. So we often talk about a no-blame culture. We work under incredible amount of pressure, but we can only learn if we accept that mistakes will happen from time to time and that we learn from those mistakes. And that's something that I'm very keen to continue to push forward with and really embed in the culture of the team.
Is there a difference between the duties in the race and off-race periods?
Yes, there is. I mean, our race season typically lasts from December through to August of the following year. There'll be times when we're racing almost back to back in the weeks, and times when we have a 4 or 5 week gap between the races. But again, it depends on the role of the individuals within the team. Now, for this particular role, that's going to be quite wide and varied. So there will be interaction with the team, with the technical personnel, but also the non-technical personnel. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we're going through quite a transitional period into a new of the organisation for the future. So I'd expect the individual that comes into this role also to support me with that. So there'll be some specific projects which might not be engaged at the completely with the racing side, but actually give an opportunity to take a look at the wider business. And I think that's what's hopefully going to be incredibly enriching with regard to this role in question.
Will I meet the drivers regularly?
Yeah, our drivers are around from time to time. So we're currently split over 5 different locations in 2 different countries, so between the UK and Germany. But one of the things that we're doing at the moment is bringing the simulator work, which is incredibly important, the setup of the race activities, over to the UK. So from that perspective, the drivers will be in here preparing in advance of every race. So very much there'll be the opportunity to meet and interact with both Stoffel and Nick, who are characters in their own right. So that'll be a good element of the job.
How is the office atmosphere of working with the team?
Yeah, I think we've got that really good mix at the moment of people who've come in from an incredibly varied background. We've got a good team now who have a lot of motorsport experience, but we've also been conscious to bring people in from different areas and different backgrounds who haven't had that motorsport experience. And I think that's, again, only helped us to build quite a diverse culture inside the organisation, and that's something that I'm keen to promote as we go forward as well. With Formula E, it's incredibly competitive. I mentioned the pressure before, so there'll be times when the pressure is high and people need to perform at their best, but also at the same time we want to have a bit of fun with that. At the end of the day, we're incredibly privileged to work in the environment in which we work. And I think it's good every so often to take a step back from the day-to-day grind and just recognise that and enjoy it.
Why are engineering skills necessary?
As I mentioned before, first and foremost, we are an engineering organisation. And I think that from that perspective, it's always going to be incredibly useful to have an understanding of engineering, because it allows you to interact with the engineers that are here, with the race team and so on and so forth. But at the same time, there's a myriad of other departments that are required to actually make the whole operation work. And if I use myself as an example, yes, I'm an engineer by trade, but I'm a really terrible engineer, which is why I don't do it anymore. But it's been helpful in my career to have at least that base understanding, so that I, again, can interact and understand and make sure that I can be involved in all the discussions necessary. And for the person that's coming into this particular role, that would be advantageous, but certainly not absolutely necessary.
How is the distribution between how many tasks will be more technical and how many would be non-technical?
I think that we have an incredibly strong technical team and department here, and they're obviously fully focused on making sure that we're with that team. So some of the time you'll be exposed to those engineering challenges that we have. But at the same time, some of the more business-orientated projects that we're looking at, some of the more strategic projects, they're what I would describe maybe as non-technical. So I think that, I mean, it's something which is going to be dependent on the phase at which we find ourselves in over that period. But on average, I think, I mean, it sounds a bit cliche to say, but a 50-50 split wouldn't be far off.
What happens actually after the program? This is a question we get a lot.
I think that obviously this particular role is for a fixed term, and I think that during that term, whoever comes in to the role is going to be worked pretty hard. Let me be honest about that. But at the same time, the development of the team and the evolution of the team always continues. So, but I think the key thing is that hopefully through this particular role, we'll give the individual opportunity to further develop their skill sets, to get an insight into this exciting new world in motorsport, especially with regard to Formula E. And then there's an individual decision as to whether that's something that they'll want to pursue in the future.
What facilities are available in Brackley?
It's a strange time that we're all living in at the moment. So it comes on board that things have opened up a little bit and we're not quite so deep in this COVID pandemic. But in Brackley here, we're in the beautiful Northamptonshire countryside. So everything that's quintessentially British about that, the pubs, the nature, and so on and so forth. But the advantage is that we're actually only an hour or so outside of London. So it's a great opportunity for people who haven't maybe had the experience of living here before to get to know the UK a bit, not only here in Brackley and with that, but much further afield as well. And that's one of the beauties of working in what we call Motorsport Valley, that everything's super close by. So there's loads going on. The other thing is that here in Brackley at Mercedes-Benz Formula E, and of course with our colleagues over at MGP, there's an incredibly vibrant community. So once we get out of COVID again, the clubs that have been there, the sports clubs, the cycling, the running, and so on and so forth, that'll all start up again. We've got a phenomenal on-site gym here as well, and a great canteen. So there's plenty to do for those hours when you're not spending your time with Formula E. There'll be plenty to keep you occupied.
So the interview process is first/lead the charge. You can apply for this role. There you have to fill out a form and upload your CV and answer a tiny little question. And then you will be in the application pool, and our recruiters are taking care of doing several interviews. And then there will be finals in July, where the shortlisted candidates will have the chance to meet Ian and have interviews also with him, so that the final individual who will be selected for this campaign will be announced at the Berlin A-Prix, which is the final race, will be announced at the 15th of August in Berlin, who the winner of Lead the Charge, One Season, Your Career in Pole Position will be. So what advice would you give to someone like a young Ian James about this role? What will be the key requirements, or what do you think?
I think first and foremost is that if this is something that you're interested in, as I would have been a few years ago, then absolutely go for it. The thing that I've learned throughout my career is that when opportunities come up, and they are of interest, and maybe especially if you're not 100% sure whether you're the right person for the job, or there may be other people out there. If it's something that you believe in, if it's something that you're passionate about, then go for it, because you might just find out that at the end of the day you're the perfect candidate. So I think have that confidence to put your hand up and throw your hat in the ring, as we say. I think that's probably the best piece of advice I can give. And the other thing I was going to say, actually, when we had the question before about Brackley, is if anybody out there is worried about the British weather, it's going to be 27 degrees and sunny here over this weekend. So it's don't believe what you're told. It's beautiful. Thanks
that you had time to give us all the answers to this question.
Anna, thank you very much indeed as well from my side. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm incredibly excited to see what candidates come forward. And as you said before, I think this really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm certainly not aware of anything like this that's been done before in motorsport. So, yeah, very much looking forward to seeing the results.
This was the Q&A session with Ian James around the Lead the Charge campaign. So Lead the Charge, One Season, Your Career Pole Position. Go to our website, motus.com/leadthecharge, and apply for this very unique role.
Engineering a smarter future together.